It's not ransom. This is not a ransom payment.
5 American citizens detained in Iran are one step closer to returning home. The Biden White House has agreed to swap prisoners, 5 Iranians for 5 Americans, and unfreeze $6 billion in Iranian money. Secretary of State Antony Blinken sealed the deal last week. But members of Congress were not notified until Monday, when Americans commemorated 22 years since the 9/11 terrorist attacks. According to the deal, Iran is only permitted to use the unfrozen funds to purchase food, medicine, or other humanitarian items. Sure.
It's not ransom. These were Iranian funds that had been frozen in a South Korean account that they did not have access to. All we're simply doing is moving this money to Qatar, to Qatari National Bank, so that it can be accessible to them for, again, very discrete, targeted purposes.
John, you just said that Iran was not going to do this for nothing. But didn't they also get 5 Iranians?
They will get 5 Iranians as well. Yeah, Jackie.
Then why did we need to add $6 billion on top of that?
This is the deal that we were able to strike to secure the release of 5 Americans. It would be great, wonderful, if we could just pick up the phone and call the mullahs and say, hey, we want our Americans back, send them back on the next plane. But you and I both know that's not going to happen, particularly with Iran.
I know that you dispute that this is a ransom payment. Obviously, many critics of this agreement say that it is just that. So, in effect, they suggest it's $1 billion per American individual being released. So how is this not incentivizing bad actors and rogue regimes like Iran in the future to detain more Americans?
Bad actors like Iran and like Mr. Putin in Russia don't need any incentive to continue to look for ways to wrongfully detain Americans.
So this whole thing about we're not giving it, I mean, you're doing you are unblocking it, basically. You're telling international banks in these European countries and Asia and in the Middle East that you're fine, go ahead and do it. So the idea that you don't have anything to do with it is...
I did not say that and would not say that. We are, of course, taking steps to effectuate the transfer of these funds, these Iranian funds. However, the point I take issue with, to give something, it must be something that's yours. And this is not our money. This is Iranian money.
Give the waiver, grant the waivers, then they wouldn't get the money.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Oh,
Although it's
okay.
it's their money in the first place, they wouldn't have access to it. They wouldn't
Well,
be able to effectively.
We had the same argument back in 2016. So
history repeats itself.
The U.S. transferred $400 million to Iran last January, around the same time that Iran freed 4 American prisoners, including journalist Jason Rezaian. According to the Wall Street Journal, a cargo plane landed in Tehran loaded with stacks of cash, including euros and Swiss francs. U.S. sanctions forbid using American dollars in any transaction with Iran, considered the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism.
That's false.
Today, the White House spokesman adamantly denied that the $400 million was ransom money.
No, it was not. It is against the policy of the United States to pay ransom for hostages.
Administration officials say they were simply returning money.